Okay, so I'm back. I had a lot of really important things to go ahead and knock out, such as getting married to Celeste. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. We have another child on the way, and really excited about her entering the world. For this specific talk, I just want to discuss something that's been on my mind for quite some time now, and now that it's beyond the stigma stage, we can discuss USOs and UFOs, as the government calls now UAPs. Unidentified flying objects, or unidentified submersible objects, submersed objects, or unidentified aerial phenomenon, however you want to term it. They're basically all the same thing. There's a hypothesis that I can see quite clearly what's going on here inside of the general theory. The reason why these craft are seen in the oceans and why the Navy has been in contact with them a lot is because that's where they hide out. If you do a simple calculation of how much volume is in the oceans, it's absolutely phenomenal how much space a craft can hide in the oceans with versus just the surface area of the Earth. If you were to visit another star system, where would you go to hide? Obviously, you would dip into the atmospheres of these stars. And if you wanted to understand the characteristics of the star versus really toxic environments, a more safe environment would be water oceans. And there are lots and lots and lots of water oceans in the galaxy. Now, for those who are new to this theory, my listeners, I've beat this into their head so many times. But very, very, very young stars are bright and shining and hot. And as stars cool and collapse, they solidify and they lose their mass, they lose their spin energy, and they form life. And very late on into their evolution, they form very deep oceans, and then those oceans start evaporating, becoming something like the Earth. And eventually the Earth continues losing its outer atmosphere and cools off considerably more. It loses its magnetic field and just becomes a cold, dead world. And if it orbits close to a host star, it will have the greenhouse effect with the CO2 and get really hot like Venus. But then eventually that CO2 will dissipate and it'll become a cold, dead world to wander the galaxy and get smashed up more and more. But for this talk, the number of ocean worlds in our galaxy I've estimated to be, according to this paper, about 6.4 trillion. And that's trillion with a T. I don't know how the British do it. I don't know what trillion is over there, but in an American system, it's a million, which is 1,000 times 1,000, and then you have 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000, which is a billion. You add 1,000 to that billion to make it a trillion. That's how many estimated water worlds I believe are in our galaxy alone. So there are lots of places for these craft from other civilizations to hide out in. And that being said, a lot of these ocean worlds don't have extremely advanced life like us. So when we do eventually explore the stars, so to speak, there's going to be a lot of worlds that don't have any life on them, and we're going to find safe haven in large oceans. So we should keep that in mind. That's really cool, a really cool thought. As well, I have yet to see any acknowledgement of this theory or of this discovery in the mainstream, which is really interesting because they don't want to acknowledge a discovery this incredible, but now a major Harvard astronomer by the name of Avi Loeb is going to be heading what's called the Galileo Project in search of UFOs or UAPs and of tracking them and allowing for that data to be unclassified, which means shareable with everybody instead of the military, hoarding it all and then classifying all of it and then just making a really big mess of everything. If you want to be honest, why not just hand the data over? But of course the military and the government has their own reasons and self-preservation reasons. But anyways, I thought I'd share this. The reason why ETs are in the oceans is because oceans are quite common, and that is a common thing to see in the general theory. Oceans are extremely numerous, as you can see up here at Ocean Worlds, right before Earth. So I would consider Earth to be somewhat of an ocean world too. But this is where the majority of ET knows when it travels the galaxy, it's going to have to hide out in the oceans. There isn't going to be a lot of solid land out there because you have to have the right mix of the oceans evaporating just enough to where there's a surface. So they just completely toss that out and they go directly to, well, we're just probably going to find the ocean, so we're going to make our craft, design our craft to be able to handle that type of environment. Anyways, very curious talk. Hopefully people take what they can out of it. And I'm also looking forward to Sky Scholar for doing another video. He said he was going to do a video sometime in the fall and do some more research into the stars and how they work, and uncovering the truth of how mainstream science really does what they do. And a lot of the false theories and false knowledge that they spread is going to be uncovered over the next couple of years. So I'm really looking forward to that. Anyways, all right, you guys, it's been a while. Take it easy.